Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Commentary's Magic Stream on today's Sunday, September 8th, 2024. I am, as always, Grand Paws.
Big cheese.
Aracat, and?
Eh,
Nah.
I'm tired.
I'm full of meat.
Supposed to get
Don't
our
ever
food.
say that again.
We're supposed to get our food comas out of the way at the con.
I did, and then...
You decided you wanted another food coma?
Well, have you guys ever had a hungry day where you wake up and you eat food at like a regular level, but for whatever reason, you just are starving throughout the entire day and nothing seems to satiate it?
No, that actually sounds like a medical condition.
The medical condition has been treated with a hot meat injection.
What did I just tell you?
I couldn't do it.
Brazilian steakhouse.
Yes, meat faucet. It was delicious, but also it was lots of meat.
The meat faucet is dangerous. Anyway, speaking of faucets,
Yes.
we have an information faucet.
Oh, we do have an information faucet. This is true because a thing happened that we went to that we did stuff at, that other people did stuff at, that they're not allowed to do stuff at anymore, and that's why Pip is banned.
Oh, we're banning Pip right now? Alright, sick. I hate that main anyway.
We'll do it live.
Sounds good.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk. Everfree took place, and among a number of very silly, very enjoyable occurrences at this convention, including seeing of good friends and eating of delicious food, including obscene amounts of Brazilian steak, there was also, this room where CCG happened.
Yes.
And there was some CCG that took place within this room. And
was-
now we're here to talk about it.
There was a lot of CCG. So we had... What did we have? We had a Naylander tournament. Then we had a sealed tournament. That was a thing.
Yeah, everyone loves Premier and Canterlot Night sealed and CG sealed until they actually sit down and play that format.
You like the idea...
There were a few cards that were playable.
Yes, there were.
Yes, you like the
The
idea better
challenge-
than the execution.
Yeah, the challenge isn't winning. The challenge is being able to play the cards you draw.
Correct. It was an experience. It was a good reminder of how far the game has come. So, at least that's something. And then there was, Continentals, Swiss. And I think at the end of Swiss, most participants had a pretty good guess as to how it was going to shake out. So we took a break, and there was some cube that happened. And then
And Cube
we
is
came back
always
to
good.
Cube's always great. Thank you, Pages, for bringing the cube and putting it together and continuing to update it. It is a tremendously fun experience. So then the top 8 came back the next day, and they played. And no one could have predicted what happened.
It was so close to being amazing.
I mean, yeah,
It was still amazing.
the decks that made top were surprised to begin with.
It was almost a complete upset. And that was fascinating to watch. Also, Canada putting the US and all other countries to shame, snagging 3 of the top 4 spots in Continentals this year.
Yeah.
And given that 2 of them, were featuring... No, he's in Canada. And given that 2 of them were featuring, Pip or Chrysalis, I'm going to continue referring to this as the Great White North.
This is true.
Still the Great Right North, even if Hithrock chooses to go into battle with the Russian flag instead of the Canadian one.
No. Hithrock's standard has a Trixie on it. You know this.
This is also true.
You've seen this flag. It is flown on...
I actually
So it's-
haven't
He didn't
seen
bring
it
it?
since Ciderfest 2018.
Yeah, I
gonna
think
say,
he didn't bring it to Canada. Because I haven't seen it, and there's no way.
If I haven't seen it, it's new to me. Really? Okay, sure.
That's about right. Anyway, it was pretty incredible. And we'll talk more about how we got there, and, give proper glory to the Pipnotoad in just a
Oh,
moment.
that's it. That's it. All right.
Yes, I'm dropping it. If you actually have it, it's amazing.
Yes,
But I
of
don't
course
think
I
you-
do.
He
Oh, do you
does.
actually
I
have it?
made
Has
it.
to find it.
If it doesn't have the hum, it doesn't count.
Yes, of course it does. What are you on about?
Okay, fair.
Should we talk about Naylander first?
Probably.
Nay.
This is probably fine. So blue is stupid.
Blue is fine.
Blue is stupid.
Blue is fine.
Blue is stupid.
Then why are you running it?
I'm running blue secondary. Blue primary is stupid.
Well,
You're still running blue.
You're stupid.
no,
All
no,
of your
you.
point acceleration, except for like 2 cards, is blue.
Is this like some no you stuff? You want to? Okay, let's
Yeah.
look at the Naylander list. Okay, how
You're
about this?
cringe.
No you.
It's okay, the first deck doesn't have any blue in it.
Posted cringe. You're gonna lose subscriber. Anyway,
Jeez,
Blue-
explain your lack of
Blooped.
blueness.
Blues. Blooped.
I like it. Okay, so let's take a look at our top 4 from Naylander. Let's put this in concrete terms and not, sit here and
Cringe fest.
Yes.
Blooped.
Yeah, fair.
All
Okay.
okay. So here's our Naylander number 4.
No blue. Moving on.
What is this? A deck list for ants?
This is a deck list for ants. It's got 100 cards in it. They're all unique.
There are 75 cards in this, thank you very much. If there were 100 cards in this, I would ask for Cheese to be disqualified.
Oh, all right, fine.
Hey, look, there's no duplicates.
Hey, look, it's Burb. Burb, I guess?
Yes, it's Burb.
How'd it work?
I think it actually worked really well. I kind of forget which match I lost at this point, but it, like, all the cards do things, and there's enough cards that do the bounce effect that you generally find one, and you do get some repeated uses out of your very strong abilities, and you can get your resources and friends back. So
Getting back Party Bomb over and over again, or Fernando, he's not really being retired, but getting back Party Bomb over and over again is rude. Getting back friends that you've retired or dismissed or just gotten rid of in general so that you can keep activating their ETB abilities again is mean.
yeah,
Izzy with Discord Party Clasher is rude.
yeah.
Is that how this whole thing started?
No, I just wanted pink purple, and then I saw that, and I was like, wait a second, that sounds good.
That's repeatable portal
Bounce
effects.
something, and then yeah. Now it's not you can't do it every turn, but every few turns.
That's true, because you're not guaranteed to be able to draw. It's not going right back in your hand. But yeah, you got the portal effects in here. You got, I think, every portal effect we could have that's reasonable is in here.
Yeah, I think there's a few that are kind of not great that I didn't run, but I mean, it just has Minuet, who is just 2 AD.
Sure.
Portal every turn. Like, if you get her, you're just kind of happy.
Nice controlling problem deck. The obligatory blackmail nice troublemaker suite here as well. How did you find the troublemakers ended up working, given that you're not running white in here for like the troublemaker synergies?
I think it worked
Were
fine.
they were still pretty good.
Yeah. These are all pretty good troublemakers. It
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think I mostly run ones. Like, the only non-epics is Yellow Parasprite, because, of course. Sirens, because, of course. I think the I forgot what those are called, but the skeleton guys, because they stick around.
Yep. And then you got Alphabetal and Hitch. But Hitch is just rude, and Alphabetal taxes your opponent, and if there's one thing Purple likes, it's having more resources than your opponent.
And there's two ways that you can do this.
My line go up, your line go down. Porque no los dos.
Well, yes. That's what purple-white is. It's just like, but what if both?
Yeah, I'm not running Trixie AT Gen in here because you need a lot of events. And this has a decent number of events. I don't know if it's enough to justify Trixie.
Well, yes, but Trixie bad.
Because Trixie's bad?
Because Trixie. I wonder about... Since you've got the portal thing going on, I wonder if Amusement Factory is maybe worth it. I don't know. Interesting. Cool control list, though.
Yeah.
And then Party Mare, because sometimes you just draw a Party Mare and then your opponent is mad.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sticks around and
Good luck. I hope you've got some removal.
destroys the field, yeah.
And the Randopoc. You're not actually running the full Randopocalypse in here, but
No. Just part of it.
the good parts of it, yes.
Yeah.
Not the win condition parts of it.
Yeah, I mean,
No, because 75 cards. Good luck.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to have more belief.
There's
Well, the deck's not blue, so it counts.
There's no belief here.
No belief.
Okay. Yeah. Izzy pink purple does pink purple things. I'm shocked and appalled that
Right.
pink purple does pink purple things. Shall we see what a different color combination does?
All right.
How about orange purple? Hold on, there's some blue in here. Terrible list. 0 of 10. Get rid of it.
Blue.
Oh,
Shame.
I see blue.
I mean, you could have stopped at the main, but I guess we can go
Hey.
through the rest of the list.
Hey, that main.
Never got to do the thing
That
in
man
any
was great.
in any tournament that mattered.
Not even running mailbox.
Still banned.
Terrible.
I mean,
I
What is this deck
believe
do? I don't think I played against Bugle. What is...
it's Dragon Tribal.
Just-
Every single
just
friend is a
Dirks.
dragon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Durgs. All the Durgs.
just Dirks.
I mean, it's pretty good with Dragonstone for sure. That's not bad. And
It
it's got
has my favorite combo.
Dragon.
There's a lot of rude things you can do with these cards.
Well,
what
yeah,
is
and
your
then
favorite combo?
Spike and Twilight plus Spike.
Oh, yeah, that's just mean. But also mandatory.
all to go home. And then
Eagles.
what else do we have in here? We've got a bunch of annoying orange events, a bunch of
It's got
annoying
a
purple
yellow.
events.
A yellow pair sprite. Because
Hey,
every deck should have a yellow pair sprite
Hey.
in it.
hey, 12, 14 sets later, 10 years later, yellow pair of Sprite.
Still wins games.
Still wins games.
Ooh, Wonderbolt's stadium. That's a blast from the past.
Hey, you're
That's
in the
a
colors for it, run it.
You are no,
Yeah. It's a good card.
not disagree. I like the Gemstone Feast when every friend in your deck is a dragon, so you're digging like 6 or 7 cards deep.
That's rude.
It's pretty funny. And there is a Heart's Desire in here. I was waiting to see it. Those dragons love their face-offs. I love seeing Heart's Desire see play. It's amusing.
A bunch of troublemakers because of course.
Looks like a fair amount of farming in here. There's a good number of epics. And yeah, you got the Melted, got the Bailout, got the AJ's Epiphany, got the Popping Corn, so you got the full exhaust suite going on there. Breaking in anyway.
It's missing Seedling Seeker, but last I checked, Apple Bloom's not a dragon.
Apple Bloom is in fact not a Dirk. It is missing Spike the new Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, but that would have added more blue. And can you really, like, in good conscience, can you really recommend that?
I mean, it flips for 4.
It does. It does, that's fair.
Don't ask me what I would take out for it. The answer's probably nothing.
Fair. Well, I mean, that you got to take something out. Now it's an illegal list.
Where's Sparky, by the way? We're clearly using new gen stuff, and like
Sparky's on Dragonstone.
no, bad.
I mean, why would you run either Baby Dragon? They're kind of bad.
I mean, admittedly, one of the things that's kind of cool here, though, is that dragons have some really impactful abilities if you can get them to stick around, but many times they are just fragile. Being able to run a dragon main that also protects your dragon cards is a pretty cool idea, at least from one form of removal. So, not bad. Pretty good. Keep your Garble, keep your Ember, keep your Twy and Spike. Not bad. I like it. Pretty good entry suite here. Nice multicolor options. Actually, all of your blue dragons only require 2 or less, so that means that stuff like Fire of Friendship and Bloodstone Scepter and Get Prepared and all of that works just fine. In fact, the only blue cards in here that require more than 2 rec are Read the Manual and Breaking In Anyway. Every other blue card has a rec of 2 or less. Not bad. I like it. Yeah, looks fun.
And the important thing here, as people says in chat, is that this was fun.
For him, maybe.
I mean,
maybe not his opponent.
I mean, do you want to go back and look at the first list? Like, I'm sure that was fun to play. I'm sure that was very unfun to play against.
Your opponent.
Anyway, next list.
Mm-hmm. It's not blue. It's not blue primary. You can't yell at me. It's not blue primary.
Hold on.
There are more blue friends in here than white friends.
Okay, so the only reason I think this is getting classified as white/blue is because the main's white.
The main is white, and more of the events are white than blue, and more of the resources are white than blue. It's just that white has bad aggro friends. I'm running the important ones.
It's got Cybernetic Limb Actuator.
It does.
So it's a good deck.
We got some hats theme going on here. We're just boosting power, that's all. We're just having a good old time, boosting power and scoring 8 points in a single turn because you get a Rarity Pony Pirate and RTO.
It's only got 2 Sweetie Bells. That's not enough Sweetie Bells.
Is it only 2?
Yeah, it's only 2.
Is she on any other card?
Foolish?
Not draw deck. Look, those are the 2 Sweetie Bells. I'm not running Field Twirler. The main is not a unicorn.
I mean, that's understandable. You've got a what is her name? Adorabides there? Yeah, there you go.
Yes, correct. It has Stack of Suitcases. It's the most evil deck in the event. Boy, if that's your standard, you should go check out some of those other Naylander lists on there. That one will be easily matched. The unicorn crystal is admittedly pretty fun in here. You can get some good unicorns going, and then dig for resources. So the idea was, I wanted my cards, I wanted my friends to have more power than what their number in the upper right-hand corner said, and so I'm either doing that with Sandbar and Yona, or I'm doing it with hats. You might sit there and say, but GP, why don't you just play Dressmaker?
Because Dressmaker is a bad main.
And that's why we have Sandbar and Yona.
Doting Sister. Oof.
I will not be running Doting Sister. I have fewer rarities in here. Actually, no, I have more rarities in here than I have Sweetie Bells. It's still not happening.
Yeah.
You can't make it. You
I
can't
mean,
make it.
that's fine.
Also, I get to play Rarities Will. Like, when was the last time you got to use that card outside of 1 of 4.3?
I don't know. You got the lady in here too.
Yeah. Lady
RGO.
did some work. Yeah, Lady did work.
Yes, she does work. That's her job, is she does work. She makes your opponent angry because you go Noom.
Well, you go Noom because you pull a Foolish, and you're just like,
That's gross.
So you spent all your AT last turn, did you? Okay.
Oh, that's gross.
I
It
would
was-
like 4 points this turn.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, and it's at like 0 risk. That's
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, Lady was good. Lady was good. It's a fun deck. I think some of the tweaks from New Gen were not huge, but were nice to have. Just a little bit of consistency, a little bit of rounding out, and moving the deck a little more in the aggro direction, and some better disruption tools. Like, it was fun. I had fun. I would encourage people to play it, and not the filthy thing that we're about to look at next.
Ah,
Ah,
well then.
Hey, you want to know what my only loss was?
Nothing.
This. Which means Bluna lost to nothing.
Time to ban Luna in all formats. I agree. This is a good call.
This is like the easiest Naylander list in the world to build, because you just grab everything that blue and pink has ever ran and just pick your favorites. And the deck works.
Yeah.
You're not even wrong, and it makes me upset.
So this is Paige's list. But I think
You can tell because C Poppy's there.
I think you were running something that was effectively identical.
It's like a couple cards different, but yes, it's literally just Hot Wings.
Okay, cool. So the only thing that Bluna loses to is herself. Awesome. Amazing.
Correct. Bluna goes fast.
It's blooped.
It is blooped.
You seem mad.
Stop playing blooped decks.
No.
No.
we should unban Twilight main
Play
so
more.
that something
No,
can
No.
compete
go
with
to
this.
the corner.
No.
But this needs competition.
Ah, yes.
The Yonabar was also undefeated. It just didn't play this list. It would probably lose if it played
So
this
we
list.
need to play more Naylander. Okay.
You know
I mean,
what?
we actually do need to play more Naylander, because it means that more people will have Naylander lists built, and then they won't ever have to build one again.
So what I'm
We
hearing
had-
is Online Con needs to feature a Naylander.
I mean, maybe. I mean, we had, 10 people showed up with Naylander lists?
And that's the best part about Online Con, is that you don't have to physically build the stupid Naylander list.
Yeah, but you only have to build a Naylander list once, and then you're just making, 5-card tweaks every time a new set gets released.
Eh.
High barrier to entry, acknowledged, but once it's there, just leave it together, because what's the opportunity cost of having one copy of any one specific card sitting in your deck box? It's fine.
Because if I'm running Thunderlane, okay, I'm running a rack of
Okay.
Thunderlane.
You only have 3 Thunderlanes?
I need
I
more.
know for a fact you have more than that, because you have the promos.
Right, you just need to go play Limited again and have 2 Thunderlanes passed
Do
to
I?
you.
I don't think we have the promos for those, actually. Thunderlane is one of the rare ones that we don't.
We did at one point.
There
didn't have many.
It's the stuff from Defenders. That's the stuff that is actually very rare. Like, we've seen those at
Yeah.
Babs, we have not seen those otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have no idea where I got mine from.
It was
Babs.
from Babs.
I never went to Babs before 2021.
You bought it from a Chinese
I-
reseller on eBay.
Back in sure, that's not true, but we're gonna say it is anyway.
Maybe.
Anyway,
It's blue and pink, and it does blue and pink things. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure we've beaten Hot Wings to death here.
Yeah, there's only so much you can really talk about that deck. Maybe it changes slightly when you switch the mains up, but honestly, like, it's not that different.
Like,
it does change. The deck gets worse because it's not Bluna.
like
You're not wrong.
my main criticism here is that this does not include Devil Babby. It should be running the Rand Apocalypse.
I do not think that you look at Bluna and Devil Babby and say it's two great tastes that taste great together.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awful.
I didn't say this was good.
Alright.
That's all I didn't say. Just that it wasn't good.
That's fair. Well, that was Naylander. And it was fun. And we'll probably run more of it.
I would certainly hope so. People seem to be having at least a bit of fun experimenting and just trying to find what works here. Like, yes, the variance is higher because everything's, a one of, but
Sure.
that's part of what makes it interesting and weird and fun.
It makes every game different at the very least. Because you have far less likelihood of drawing into specific cards or the same type of hand.
Yeah.
So even if Hot Wings is doing Hot Wings things, there's slightly different Hot Wings things every game.
Yeah. Never know what kind of startup you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
But with that, shall we go take a look at the main course here?
Oh, should we?
Why not?
So, Continentals. How many people did we have in here? I think it was 16 or 17? Like, and aside from a horrible time trying to get the event started up, which we sincerely apologize for, because ouch.
Yeah. Sorry.
Looks
about
like it was 17.
Not bad.
Continentals has been continuously growing in attendance since it was brought back into physical in-person gameplay. And that's kind of cool.
This one, I think we've even got some players that haven't been around for a while, and some new players.
Yeah, and they might have done okay in this tournament.
I think they did more than okay. Shall we look at our top 8 here?
Start us off.
All right, top 8. Finishing with seed 8 here is Pinkie Pie, a player from back in the day who hasn't shown up in a while. But you know what?
Is this the entire deck list?
This is what I got.
This is the entire deck list.
11, 17.
It just looks wrong because we were looking at Naylander lists before, but this is it.
That's 50 cards. That is really weird when those two are juxtaposed.
Yeah, that's 50 cards, 10 problems, and 1 main.
Yeah.
I know it. You may not like it.
This is peak performance.
Yeah. I mean, kinda. For yellow, it's close.
Because everything in here, with the exception of Pearl, there's a couple other things. It's almost solid 3-ofs. Like, don't change what works. All the good cards are good.
Yeah,
Do you want to know what this? Do you want to know what this deck does?
Makes snacks.
It makes snacks. Do you want to know how many snacks it makes?
How many
Almost
snacks does
100
it make?
plus.
We lost count, somewhere over 200.
I saw 198, and that was the last time I had an official count. But I know there were more snacks generated past that point.
I believe that the quantity of snakes at this point would be defined as enough. How many snakes? Enough.
a lot of snacks.
Yellow does yellow things. You have birds of a feather, which makes lots of snacks. And then you have a lot of things that also make snacks, so that birds of a feather can make even more snacks.
You have Flutter Swarm, so your opponent's friends are scared of your snacks. You have lots of dogs and lots of bunnies who are in fact actually snacks in disguise. And then over there in the corner, we actually have a snack.
Snack.
It's core, so you can't run battle snakes.
I need an artist to create Hitch's Snexona.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm going on FA right now. I'm going to find him a Snexona.
You can go ahead and commission that one. I'm sure we're all going to... look forward is not the correct term of phrase, but dread its arrival, maybe?
Dread, yes. The herald of the end.
Yeah. But otherwise,
Yeah.
no. This is just the solid yellow cards. You've got your resource removal, your troublemaker addressing if you can't just murder it with 100 snakes. Like, what else do you need?
Well, apparently a little bit, because the deck did well, but it didn't win. There were a few slots in here that I believe the pilot said they'd probably be tweaking. The Yona Friend of Spiders was a cute means of generating more snacks, but probably the least impactful card in the deck.
Not one of the more effective ones. That's fair.
Yeah. But given that this was one of those lists that was, hey, I am returning to the game after having not played for numerous years, please deck Gib. And then deck was Gib.
Well, but okay, you have to like respect this though, because they were committed to the bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is not a downplaying of their performance or of their skill or anything like that.
But snacks.
It was good meme. They came to make snacks.
They made
play
snacks.
card, and they were all out of snacks. So
Right.
we'll have to see what Hitch can continue to do for Mono Yellow.
Alright, fair. Oh, I know what this needs. This needs the hitch that gives everything caretaker, because you know what's funny? Snakes taking care of snakes.
At that point, you just call the deck Ouroboros.
No, because they're not eating each other. We need to create a snack.
Only
friend
you
that-
look
only
at
one of them.
You look at Antoine right now and tell me those snakes are not eating each other.
That's one snake.
It's up to 3 snakes.
It's only to a minimum of 1, so if you don't have snack stand, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Next list.
Next list. Also top 8, seed 6. Ivory.
Oh yeah, this was what I ran. Yeah, say hello to the least aggro mid-range list that looks like an aggro list you'll ever see.
How do you mean?
So, this deck looks and has cards that you would have seen in the older Cadence Blue list, which was definitely an aggro list, or at least tended to be more of an aggro list.
Sure.
You cannot play this deck like an aggro deck. You have to play this deck like a very slow mid-range deck, and you have to hold on to as many AT as possible because you have a lot of things that can be done at immediate speed to mess with your opponent, and leaving them knowing that, seeing how much AT you have, and having to play around that actually works in your favor, whether you have anything or not.
So we're going back to the burb kind of thing where it's just like, yeah, I'm sitting on 3 tokens. What's up?
Plus, I mean, it's blue, so obviously the Frightened package is here. You have Windy, who's not the most amazing removal, but she is removal. Chaos Magic Blast, Wrath of Gilda, if you absolutely need to.
I like the fact that just about every color combo with blue has one additional tool to support the Frightened package, and for this one, it's Misty and Izzy, and they are crazy good value.
Yeah, Misty and Izzy is definitely your target for getting rid of if it's on the board. Like, they will get stupid very fast if you let that sit around too long.
I can see what you mean, though, about how it looks like it should be aggro, but it isn't. Like, all of these cards have effects that should support an aggressive playstyle, but either because of their cost or because of their timing or just the loss of the best tools that have now rotated out, it does slow down the deck noticeably, and you can see it.
Yeah, trying to go full swing aggro with this, you actually can't really do it that well anymore. Like, you have to play the long game here.
So then the question I would ask is, how does it feel as a mid-range list? If you're playing it like mid-range, like you feel the deck is intended to be played, how does it feel?
It's solid. I would like to see maybe a couple differences. Like, I think Windy probably can be dropped in favor of something else, but I also want to kind of see how it does in its current form before making any major changes.
Okay. Did rules technicality come back to bite you?
No.
Okay.
I have Discord.
You have Discord and you have Comment.
Well, especially if you're going to be running with this kind of deck's like preferred playstyle, I think that's actually pretty safe here.
Yeah, I actually sided Comet out against every opponent that I didn't think was running Troublemakers.
That's fair.
Because the last thing I want to do is just blind use Comet and then screw myself with the rules technicality. Discord, I can guarantee it's rules technicality. That one stays in.
That's fair.
Yeah.
How was Cherryberry?
You know, I actually didn't draw her in most of my games. She did work when I did draw her.
Alright.
She was too busy talking to the manager.
She was too busy hiding at the bottom of my deck, apparently.
Womp, womp, womp.
She's great when she does stuff.
That's any card, though. Gallus'
Yep.
Silverstream continues to
when-
be the best.
When Sweet Apple Acres does stuff,
It's not
it's
great.
not good.
Alright,
That's-
fine. That's on a technicality.
You had some interesting plays with Cherryberry as well, didn't you, Cheese?
In whatever it's called. Oh no, it was in this too. Yes. I think I had a game where I just had to aggro and only won because Cherryberry scored a lot of points. And I think I had 2 of them. Yeah.
Oh, well, if you have more than one, yeah, leaving that unchecked will definitely get you caught up in points.
Alright, good deal.
Next list.
Next list. Still in our top 8. Seed 4. Grand Pause.
We talked about this one.
Scary did scary things.
The Scary did scary things. We talked about Cantor Logic Factory and its synergies with Allura and Twitch, and the Blue Frightened package synergizing well with Legion of Doom. And everything that we said previously is completely true. You are going to see Cantor Logic Factory in a number of other lists that we haven't talked about yet, and every single one of them definitely deserves to have this card in there. and there is a high likelihood that if your deck is running more than 2 colors, and you have the type of entry that you are seeing commonly in the form of Ray of Hope and Get Prepared, your deck could be made better with the addition of Cantor Logic Factory, regardless of what your actual 2 colors were.
Just windmill slam it in because your entry can deal with it, and that's good enough.
I mean, there's obviously an asterisk there. If you're playing yellow-orange, maybe don't run Cantor Logic Factory, even if you've got the multicolor.
Definitely run Cantor Logic Factory. Run a 5-color deck. Don't let the
5
haters
color.
stop you.
6 color.
The deck was fun, and it played the control thing exactly like I wanted it to. I think the most stressful part was in advance of Continentals trying to figure out what 5 cards I wanted to swap out based on what I was expecting to see. I knew I wanted to add at least 1 board wipe, so I added the Wrath of Gilda in there, and then that left me with 4 card slots, and I was considering going deeper on value, or going deeper on removal, or whatever it was. And was sitting there looking at it and saw that there were these 2 Reading Rainbows, and saw that there were these 2 copies of Bottled Dragonfire, and I thought, well, wait a second. That's halfway to the Granny Smith combo, because then all you need is Granny Smith and Rainbow of Light, and if you have those cards, that wins the game. Provided you have a friend with high enough power to be able to slap Rainbow of Light on and guarantee your win. Hey, look, Legion of Doom can cost 0 because you're frightening everything your opponent has. And
Seems pretty good.
And so I just ran the other 2 card slots to put the combo in there. Sometimes I'd draw a couple of the pieces, and sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I'd side out Granny Smith in certain matchups and just say, I'm not going to rely on this. But in at least one match, yeah, sometimes you just draw the nuts, and you get all your combo pieces early, and turn 5, you're just like, well, I've enjoyed our game. It is now done. Let's sit here and talk for a while.
And you go we.
Right.
As you do.
I think that it is intentionally slower than the mid-range version that we'll see here in a bit. I do think that that's okay, if that's the style that you're going for. The deck really suffered for want of card slots. I don't think the message from the past is required. I'd probably run a 3rd copy of Mayonnaise. Allure and Twitch. We need to talk about Allure and Twitch here for a second, not because they're necessarily a problem, but because Allure and Twitch are not unique. And that means that you can just play another one and not really lose a lot of card advantage, because you're not having to retire one of your, or a lot of board momentum, I mean, because you're not having to retire one of your friends immediately. And because they are not unique, their abilities stack. If you have ever wanted to see exactly how many cards you can draw in a turn, play Allure and Twitch going up against a Go Wide deck and play Wrath of Gilda, because she sees every one of those frightens.
Both of them see.
Yes.
And then it gets dumb.
You can draw an absurd number of cards very, very cheaply. And also, kill the board.
As you do.
I would say that with a few tweaks in here, I would be happy to continue playing a list like this, with the exception of I have thoughts on the impact of Cantor Logic in the meta, and we'll talk more about that at the end. I think it is different thoughts than just, oh my god, I hate this card, we have to ban this card, but they are thoughts. But yeah, that was it. I think Granny Smith was absolutely correct, and I think the rest of the deck worked well.
Okay, next list. Let's see, and here we've got top 8, seed 2, with Istagram. And a unifarming list.
I'm trying to see if this is exactly what the unifarm list we had talked about earlier in Discord was, and it looks pretty close. Maybe with a few cards being tweaked. Yeah, Mary Poppins was not in there. But
there's Mary
otherwise,
Poppins. Okay.
otherwise it's pretty close.
Yeah, this did exceedingly well, as evidenced by Seed 2 here. Farm still works.
And this is only running 12 epics too, so you've still got a lot of push being gained by just confronting problems or starting these face-offs when you need them. Mary Poppins has critter, that's true. And Mary Poppins boosts the power of your other critters, which is also fine. Cloud Puff is just a dream for Yuna, though. That face is the face of mercy.
It's like everything she could possibly want. It's 3 power, so it gets doubled to its maximum benefit. It's also just like, hey, that's a nice card. It's a shame that it doesn't matter.
I think perhaps one of the only things that is really tricky here is the change to Dodgy Shopkeeper from the original version means that you now need to be able to keep that card around for multiple priority windows, and in a meta that is running as much blue disruption as there is here, and the fact that Dodgy Shopkeeper is counter-based, it's very challenging in certain matchups to actually be able to get it to go off.
I mean, sure, but it's still a magnet, right? Like, you can play that, it doesn't cost that much, and it's one of those things that your opponent has to sit there and sweat about.
Oh yeah, I am not saying that Dodgy Shopkeeper does not still fit in here. It's still an excellent card.
Like, if
But
absolutely nothing else, it's still a 1 token for 2 power.
Right. Which also flips for 4 in this list, so that shuts off a lot of the downside you'd normally face with it, right?
Yeah, it seems fine.
Yeah.
Just don't necessarily expect it to fire consistently, but that's okay.
That's okay, because it got broader appeal when it was tweaked. It became more flexible, but it also became more vulnerable, and I think that's okay to have a trade-off there. But great tweaks to the list by Instagram. I'm glad he did very well with it.
Yes. All right. Into our top 4. Seed 7 pages. Running purple roll in the mud.
That's how we're calling it?
Why does it roll in the mud?
Look at that event suite and tell him it's not rolling in the mud.
It's fine.
Because it wants to roll in the mud, and it's very good at rolling in the mud, and it drags you into the mud and rolls you around.
Levitation, Meditation, Spider Surprise, Changed, Worn Out, Magic Brownout. It's got 3 copies of Magic Brownout. I believe that Pages said this was a slightly tweaked version of Tom's list from the last Coco event just before Continental's fired. I don't know what the exact changes were, but it does seem vague. It does seem pretty similar. The event suite, at the very least, is equally irritating.
Well, yes.
I can understand no mayonnaise here because, well, yeah, you can use it to remove your opponent's friends, and maybe that might be part of it. The only friends you're really going to get some value out of ETB on is going to be Baby Flurry Heart and Elderflower, and Elderflower is kind of a stretch. But yeah, mayonnaise is a strong card. I was surprised to see Changed do as well as it did. It's not the devastating, self-inflicted wound that it may have been in previous metas where you'd hit one friend and then their bomb would, come out of nowhere. It can actually do okay. Also, in this whole meta of, hey, let's banish all these cards from discard piles for value incrementally, and then Celestia sits there and laughs and says, how about I just banish all those cards for all the value right now, Also, my restricted section is now 12 power.
Dang.
All these big ponies with wings and horns being big.
Alicornication.
Sure, let's go with that.
No. It works on Warhammer logic. I's the biggest, therefore I's in charge.
But the Emperor of Mankind is a shriveled corpse at this point.
Yeah, but the throne's real big, just like Celestia's, because of all that cake.
Fair enough.
It counts. I think the only other comment I had heard from pages in discussion we had was Connection Corkboard has great synergy with all the events in this deck, but it's just so expensive and takes a while to get going that it can often be more of a win more card, and you might rather have those 3 AT just to hold up to have a few more disruptive events. And that makes sense. But looking at the suite that's here, if you did manage to get a Connection Corkboard on the board and rely on its value, man, it's going to be mean.
Your opponent is, how you say, going to have a bad time.
That is hashtag WowU right there.
Wow, you.
Okay. Next list. Our other top 4 finisher, with seed 1, I believe, Bugle. This looks real familiar.
I mean, yes and no. You're running blue, you've got the Frightened package, you've got Allura and Twitch, and you've got some of the same supportive / disruptive events. But because this one's running purple instead of blue, Twilight, interestingly, is more mid-range focused because of the AT value discount that you get, and because you get to start running Tranquility, and because you can flip her for free.
And Tranquility is a dumb card.
Tranquility is a good card. The multiple copies of Spike and the multiple copies of Lunch Break in here, along with all of the AT generation between Tranquility and Twilight and Let's Make Our Mark Together, are pretty good. Zip is obviously irritating if she hits. The Reading Rainbow. Oh, right. Reading Rainbow also giving effective AT value. Multiple ways to bounce. Yeah, I mean, it's taking a lot of the same ideas of the blue purple X package, and just shifting it to apply pressure and ask questions instead of respond to pressure and provide answers.
Right,
That
I mean,
being
that's
said-
generally a good thing to be doing if you're running this kind of list. You want to be making your opponent react to you, not the other way around.
Right. That being said, there is a card in here that both prompts or asks a question and serves as its own answer, which is, who allowed Cantor Logic Factory to exist in this meta? What am I supposed to do about this? And the answer is, guess I'm playing Cantor Logic Factory.
Correct. Even if
It's-
you're only in one of the 3 colors.
It's the pile of presents dilemma.
It kind of is. It's not the first time I've heard you or anyone else make that analogy, and I think you're right.
How do I stop pile? Run pile.
With more pile.
And with the entry being what it is right now, it's not even that hard. We are in the first set post-rotation, and 3-color decks are probably in a stronger position than they've been at the completion of full sets prior to rotation. Or full, core formats prior to rotation. I mean, it's no Singing Barrel, but it's kind of better in certain ways because Ray of Hope goes to your discard pile, meaning it fuels Ray of Hope, or it fuels counter logic. And then obviously a problem deck that is more mid-range focused than the previous one. Anemoy, how do I stop pile? Practice! Bugle, I think Ray of Hope is better than Barrel in some cases. It's 1 AT for 2 colors instead of 2 AT for 2 colors. Yeah, depends on how often you feel like you're going to need the color entry. If you've got the ability to get into those colors and maintain those colors' presence through some of your friends, absolutely. And since you want to be running the blue Frighten package and you want to be running Reading Rainbow for the sake of, continuing to gain value and synergize with Twilight, yeah.
I'm just waiting for one of those incredibly bad manner moves. It's that thing about how you have to really be paying attention, and yeah, frightening that Bunyip to get a point means that your opponent can now slam down a Gallus and Silverstream. I want the equivalent of that with Ray of Hope, where your opponent's just like, I'm gonna remove that because I don't want you to have color next turn. And they do so, and you're like, but aha, you've just enabled me to play Disruption. And then you goozle yourself, and it's funny. But yes, the annoying control list looks annoying.
Also, don't sleep on the value of Meticulous when cards on top become cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything's mid-range, Bugle. That's our secret.
That means it's aggro, because mid-range is the new aggro.
You're kind of not wrong.
The new aggro.
Seems good. Fair enough. All right. Speaking of horrible control lists, let's take a look at our top 2 finisher.
Taxes the deck.
She was so close.
Yes, Queen. So close.
Slay, Queen.
Slay, Queen. Slay.
Ara could have played and run Chrissy. Done well.
I don't know. This was another one of those decks where I believe you were given tasting notes.
Correct.
0 Bar's art is funny. It's like she's being all cute, but that is not a cute card.
No, it's not. The tasting notes for this deck were bewilderment, I believe. Something along those lines. Let me confirm.
And so yes, taxes the deck. If this messes with your opponent, just go ahead and add it. Seems good.
Baffling. That was the one. I was asked for something baffling. In full fairness, this list was basically built just before New Generations had released. As sure, let's explore some of the mains that haven't seen a lot of play. Hey, look, we've got these mono-white control tools, and I think some of them would go well with Chrysalis. Yeah, this seems like this could be irritating. There's some good taxes going on here. Sure, let's call it a day. And then the list sat there and rotted for a month.
Right, and that's nice and good. And then New Generation came out. And you can't see this, and I don't have a beard, but I'd be stroking it if I could. Yes. Yes.
And then other cards left the meta. And ludicrous numbers of unicorns were able to be generated even without Bodyguard. And small Pip makes people sad.
Hold on, which Pip? Small Pip? You mean regular Pip?
Regular Pip.
You mean the one that's sitting there imploring you to like, comment, and subscribe?
We are not going to see a single card with Pip on it in our discussion of these next 2 decks where anyone other than the card's owner looks at that card and says, I am happy to see this card. It is
I'm
about
gonna.
the same. It is about the same as I feel every time Pip is on the screen.
I'm gonna
Ah,
disagree with you.
I am happy to see this pony.
I am gonna
I
disagree with you here because I am positive that if Hithrock played this, and spoilers, Hithrock did, Hithrock was just like, oh, that's a cute Pip card. Doesn't matter who owns it.
I mean,
I feel like Summoning Bell has been one of the most popular resources from that set.
I mean, it's kind of good.
It's just, if you're running white, it just has Summoning Bell.
a lot of times it does. Being able to make free unicorns and also inflate your flip average is pretty strong.
Yeah, Summoning Bell with Stellar Flare is pretty much a white staple.
I have especially appreciated it when there has been the greedy play of, yes, allow me to play Summoning Bell on my Unicorn Friend token to make more Unicorn Friend tokens. Which has happened.
I mean, sure. Like, at some point, it's not necessarily about just getting ahead, it's about sending a message.
That message is, I see you would like to play cards to cause my main to flip over and to remove the tax that you have. It is most unfortunate that I am playing a control deck and 30 minutes into the game, we're still on our starting problems.
And 2-1.
You forced me to spend 3 AT after giving me 2 AT. Yeah, get Chrissy off of Finding Your Magic as soon as possible. Yeah, there's a reason there's 2 of them in here. I would never suggest that about just about any other deck. This is the one. Also, we're so back photo finish meta. Posey is here, and White can have control point acceleration again, and not just have it be Miss Main Loop. Speaking of Miss Main Loop, Izzy's sitting right over there. She knows what she did.
This is ridiculous.
Never in 1,000 years would I have expected this deck to place as well as it did. Never in 10,000 years would I have expected this deck to place as well as it did with a player who has been playing the MLP-CCG competitively for less than 2 years. And yet, here we are. It's a brand new day.
Minty knows what they're about.
Minty knows what they're about.
But alas,
This is not the upset.
Chrissy could not claim it because there was another.
There was another. And as I was telling GP a few days ago when I made this, sometimes you don't so much create a thing, call it into existence, you merely write something down that was already there and just needed to be given form. And as the Continental's announcement said, all glory to the Hypnotoad.
All glory to the Hypnotoad. Oh, hey, look. It's a nice little white deck splashing pink for control.
I present to you
Splashing pink.
our champion.
Trixie.
With Seed
No.
5, Hithrock.
No blue cards, still running Cantor Logic Factory.
Yep, sure is.
And Pip Petals.
Only in one of the colors.
This seems good.
I can't see the main, it's too small.
That's fine. You just gotta get her boosted.
That's fair. No blue, no purple, still runs Cantor Logic. Objectively correct decision. Literally
And
won
the pink is off
multiple
color.
games. Yeah, and the pink is off color.
So why was this deck good? Why did it beat your deck?
I can make the excuse that I was full of meat and adult beverages when I was playing this match. The actual answer is probably because everyone has discounted Pip for so long that you sometimes forget, as you are resolving your home limit, that that thing that you don't care about, you might care significantly more about if your opponent has one. And then suddenly your opponent has one.
Yeah. That part is hard. It's also hard when your deck likes to discard things.
Yeah, I imagine that was probably not your favorite.
No.
Is that what happened with you?
I don't remember if I went up against Rock. But, like, I've played the matchup enough that, like, yeah, it causes problems.
Occasionally, you will just get wrecked by 0 bars. It will just happen. You will find yourself in a position where you're like, cool, I've got a game plan for next turn, and then you don't
You
really want to
don't
go to
have
yeah,
that
And
game
then
plan.
you currently appear to be lacking cell phone service.
correct. Your score has reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. And it turns out, as we were talking about earlier, or hinting at earlier, sometimes the best answer to a meta disruptive card is to just play that card yourself and beat the opponent to being able to get the value out of it. And Counter Logic might do that a little bit. Matches where both players have a copy of Counter Logic out are very amusing, as every priority window becomes insanely valuable, and every card played becomes an extreme liability if it's of a different card type.
Yeah.
I don't think I even saw Hithrock pull off the Plurite Pip synergy here, and he didn't need it. Maybe he pulled it off in a different game. I didn't see it, but yeah, I mean, sometimes you can just read between the lines and you can see the meta, you can see the forest through the trees, and you pick right, and everyone else has been counting you out, and then
Okay, but we know why Hithrock picked this deck, right?
well, sure, because Pip is cute,
Yeah.
and sometimes cuteness is all you need, because cuteness is disarming. And then you are so distracted by the cuteness on your opponent's side of the board that you forget that you just retired a spike to home limit while your opponent had 1 AT and a ready main character, and then you were very sad. Not to diminish play skill at all, Hithrock made some pretty masterful plays across numerous games there, and we even got to explore the full rules for end of time procedures in Tier 3.
am very glad we wrote that down because we used every single backup plan.
Sure did.
It went to this. It went through the additional turns. It went through the short game. It went to sudden death.
For the second time.
Yeah, but this time it was codified.
Yeah.
Animoy says cute white mains win Continentals.
Well,
Yes,
wait,
and
this main one?
No, Miss Main does not have a main.
But it's in her name.
But she has a white
It's
main.
Miss Main.
Ambassador of Generosity won Continentals.
I'm gonna
That one
be
year?
honest. She wasn't real generous right then.
No, she was awfully selfish.
That was the one with no friends, right?
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what? Maybe it's she was being very generous to herself.
So across everything that was there in top 8, with the exception of orange, we had every color present multiple times. That's not the worst post-rotation meta we've ever seen. I'm certainly not going to sit here and say it's perfect, but
I mean, we've also seen some Continentals metas that were so much worse.
yeah. And we got to see some pretty interesting drawn-out matches towards the end. With the exception of the one that Hithrock and I played, I think every other match ended at hard time. So, like Pip says, why are we playing mid-range and control lists in Continentals and playing the game for 6 hours straight? For the content.
At least when the camera doesn't freeze.
Mm-hmm. And a very big thank you to our commentators, Animoy and Pancake. Thank you for your insights from afar.
We do Slogfest. But Animoy and Pancake, they did a slog.
Yeah, they did.
It's been a long time since I've commentated. 'Cause I think I'm at every event.
Yeah. Like, it's, Cursed and Hithrock, of course, are well known for their lengthy and insightful commentary. This is the kind of thing that I think both of them would have just loved to commentate.
Yeah, that's grindy control matches. That's like their butter.
They are a little masochistic when it comes to it. All right, you can either have the interesting interactive match, or you can have the combo mirror.
Which of these is more grindy? We'll take that one.
It wasn't even grindy. It was just us sitting there until one of us decided that we were going to draw cards.
It was blooped.
Nice.
Stupid.
And, of course, with the rest of the con, it was lovely to see everyone and have a con and do all the other things that we do at cons.
There was a fair amount of
Other than the airport getting hacked, and they made it work.
We had a panel.
We did have a panel.
We did
That
have a
was fun.
panel. Unfortunately, we did not get a good recording of the panel.
Womp womp.
So,
Did the recording did we not get one from Everfree yet?
not yet.
Okay, maybe we have one.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, if you missed that one, you just need to keep supporting the game so we can keep this going for another 10 years and then we can do the panel again.
20th anniversary panel.
Yes.
Lol.
No, we're gonna 100th anniversary panel. We're gonna sit there and just be like, I remember back in the day.
I love your optimism that we'll still be alive then.
I didn't say it was us doing it.
That's fair. Well,
Gotta
thank you
bring
to
in the young
everyone.
players. Trap
Yeah,
them,
that's
trap them
right.
with the cardboard addiction.
Get them in now. Hey kid, first hit's free.
The
Look
first
at
hit,
this cute one.
the first hit is free. What do you want about? It's all print and play now.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure we'll have some more news here in the coming weeks over the next upcoming events, either online or in person. But for now, I think this will wrap up our discussion on this topic for today. We would like to give a big shout out to all our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support. If you aren't currently a patron and you enjoy what we do, please consider donating. Doing so does enable us to continue making content like this and lets you earn some great perks as a bonus. If you have comments or questions you'd like to send our way, feel free to reach out to we'll try this again. Feel free to reach out to us through Facebook, Twitter, or email. If you're a patron, you can also chat live with us on Slack any day, anytime. And finally, if you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings, you can find them on our YouTube channel, linked just below the stream. With all that said, thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I'm, as always, Grandpaws.
Big cheese.
Yeah. And
Don't do it. No.
Your resident Cantor Logic Factory employee reporting for my morning shift.
Well, at least it wasn't Sparky.
see, now you've called it forward. You have no one to blame but yourself.
I know what I'm about.
Sparky's being experimented on at the Cantor Logic Factory.
Understand.
That's why it's blue.
It?
The factory.
That's why the factory's blue?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
Why not?
like that great early fandom song, In the Sparky Factory.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember that song well.
See,
Wooden
now
Toaster would be proud.
Anyway.
now you have like absolutely no leg to stand on, which is fine because Sparky doesn't have much for legs. He's very short, but not as
Lol.
short as Pip.
Lol.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.